These days, almost any software worth using will have some form of MFA, or multi-factor authentication. But not all MFAs are the same. Here are the differences. Text or call-based MFA. This is a popular way to get your secondary PIN since it requires nothing more than a cell phone number. When you use this, the provider will send you a secondary PIN via text or call you with an automated message that will relay a secondary PIN. The user then enters the PIN to gain access to their system. It's easy to implement but has drawbacks that the user must have their phone on them for it to work. It's also possible for hackers to use powerful cell phone tracking software to tap into the user's phone and monitor the user's mobile activity without them knowing. This includes having their text messages sent directly to the attacker, bypassing the layer of security the MFA is offering. Email-based MFA. Email authentication works similar to text-based authentication, in that the PIN is sent to the user's email address. This provides a slightly more secure layer of protection than the text-based authentication because the user has to log into their email account to access the PIN that is sent to them. Email token authentication also means that organizations don't have to rely on the employee having their phone on them. Users can access the PIN from any device that can access their emails. Software app-based MFA. Software token authentication requires the user to verify their identity via an app on a smartphone or tablet. When prompted for their secondary PIN, the user opens an app which gives them a time-restricted PIN to enter. Most authenticator apps generate a new PIN every minute, which means that it's much harder for the hacker to retrieve this information than a text or email-based PIN. The only downfall for this authentication method is that it relies on the user having a smart device to install the app. Personal devices tend to have fewer security measures in place, so this introduces a risk to the enterprise accounts should the device be lost, stolen, or hacked. Hardware-based MFA. This method relies on the use of a hardware key that must be plugged into the device you are attempting to log in from. The key can also have an additional PIN that is required before it will authenticate you. This is by far the best method as it allows you to access the account with the unique hardware key, and should the key get lost or stolen, they will still need to know your credentials and the PIN number for that key. That's if you haven't already deactivated the hardware key. This method, although is the most secure, it is the most costly and difficult to adopt.
Want to learn more? Follow me on any of these channels, and always feel free to reach out should you have any questions.